Please be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello, Jerome.
This is the case of Kingsbury versus James.
Thank you. Good day, everyone. Good day. Miss Kingsbury, you say you were in a romantic relationship with the defendant, Mr. James, and planned to have a child together. But when your 11-month-old son, Chance, was born, Mr. James turned on you and began to deny paternity. You are here to prove Mr. James is the biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. James, you say you had stopped all intimate relations with Miss Kingsbury during the window of conception. You say you can prove this is not your child with undeniable medical evidence. Is this correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Miss Kingsbury, what is the most hurtful part of this situation for you?
Well, me and Mr. James, we plan to have our son, plan to have a child together. So that's what hurts me the most.
And so, did you plan this baby, Mr. James?
Yes, I did plan it at first. We did plan it at first, Your Honor.
You did?
At first we did.
Take me back, make me understand the nature of this relationship.
Well, we started off as friends, and then to lead it to a little bit more, I started living with him.
You were
I
a
was
couple?
staying with him.
In love, or you just staying with him, or you living
We were
with him?
in love with each other.
You were?
Yes, we were.
No.
What is your opinion of the relationship?
My opinion, Your Honor, is at first, yes, we did plan to have a baby. At first, in relationship, it was fun, adventurous. I think I could count on her. She was supportive. That was the nature of relationship at first.
So what are you trying to say, that we weren't in a relationship, we didn't have love for each other?
Are you trying to say that, Mr. James?
I ain't say we didn't have love for each other. I said I wasn't in love. I got love.
So
for
why
her.
were you planning to have a baby with someone you weren't in love with?
My reason was because I thought she was a very nice woman when I first met her, or whatever.
Because he loved me.
I meet very nice people every day. I don't want to have babies with them.
Yeah, of course.
We had an incident about me lying about something. That's when he stopped, I guess, wanting to be serious with me.
You're right,
That's
brother.
when all the...
All right, so tell the truth now. Well, that's why we're here.
when
Tell the
it
truth.
happened.
So what happened?
Oh, I lied about a way that I got to work. I didn't tell him who took me. I lied about, I told him that it was my sister who took me, but it was a customer of mine. I asked him if he can give me a ride to work. I did what I had to do to get to work. I didn't have a way. I had to take my daughter all the way to the other side of town to her godmother, and I had to get to work. I paid the young man gas money. And another thing, when I was going to get my nails done, the young man was on his way to my house to get his money. Me, Kenneth, and my daughter was walking to the nail salon to get my nails done, and the young man gave us all a ride. So if he felt any way towards me and this young man, he wouldn't have got in the car with us. He was there when I gave the young man his $10 of gas. He was there with me.
So wait a minute, Mr. James, you got an attitude because she asked a client to give her a ride to work?
Yes, I had it too.
Because she didn't tell the truth about it?
I just didn't tell him who the person was.
All right.
I told him that it was my sister, but it was someone else.
All right, so you did tell this lie.
Yeah.
So
I
now
did.
after she told
I
this
did.
lie, Mr. James, what were you wondering? Why lie?
Yeah, why lie? Why not tell the truth in the first place?
But I
Why
told
lie?
him.
Did you start hearing rumors about her with other guys?
Yes, I heard. Yeah, I heard rumors. Like my friends that stay in the neighborhood, they used to tell me that she used to get out of cars with her, wherever means these are. I don't know, her co-workers or like what you just explained, her
There's
her
hearsay,
customers.
he say, she say.
No.
He ain't never witnessed me get out of no car with nobody.
I ain't
Now,
got
the
no
time
witness.
that we were together,
mean-
excuse me, the time that we were together, me and him spent all of our time together. You ain't never seen me get out of no car with no man. And the only friend that I have that is a man is my daughter's godfather.
All right, so Mr. James, tell me the story. What were you told?
I was told that she
frustrating me.
got out of the car with somebody. She know their name. She ain't gonna tell me their names, cause she a liar.
I told you I lied. So
That mean you're a liar.
I lied about a ride. Okay. Yes, okay, I'm a liar. I've lied to him about a ride.
More than
That's
that,
the
too.
only lie that I've ever told you.
Listen,
I'm so sorry.
First I want to understand, because this is directly connected to your doubt, Mr. James.
Yes, ma'am.
What were you told
doubt was-
specifically?
That she got out of the car with somebody.
Was this around the time I got
Someone
pregnant?
saw her get out of the car with
Yeah,
a man.
With a man. And when I confronted her, Miss Kingsbury,
Where was she when she got out of the car
Home.
with the man?
Home. Across the street, whatever it was,
Home.
she was home by the
Home.
time she was home. So
The
I
person was
confronted her
across the
with the
street.
story. I confronted her with the story, and she denied it off the top.
Never did I deny that
She
story.
denied it off the top.
Now, a ride in the car, that's not the kind of ride to get you pregnant.
No.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
of course.
Right?
Thank
Of
you. I
course.
got a ride home from work.
course, but-
So
paid for
now
the
I
ride.
have to understand your doubt specifically. What does this have to do with the paternity?
Mistrust can lead to somebody cheating. And also, if you lie, that can also lead to different, like, session or whatever, different sequence of your life that you can do those type of things.
So now, Ms. Kingsbury, he's saying that now you've started a pattern of lying. Is that true?
No, I told him one lie.
Okay.
That's it.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Okay, take me to the point you told Mr. James you were pregnant.
I was at work. I was like, well, Kitty, I'm about to buy a pregnancy test. And he was like, well, let me know when you take it. I took the pregnancy test about 7:30 that evening. It was positive. And I called him and let him know.
And what
Can I
did
say
he
something?
say?
He didn't say too much. He said, I'm asleep. I'll call you back.
I'm asleep, I'll call you back.
That's what he said to me.
At the time she said she conceived with a baby, she was walking with one of her coworkers then. Like, she was walking home with him. And I don't know if they had sex or
Excuse
not.
me,
See,
Your
I don't know
Honor.
nothing about that. You know, so I don't know.
So she's
Oh,
walking
God.
home now with somebody.
About that
Let me
time,
explain something to you.
About that time,
me
she
and
told
my
me she was
coworker
pregnant.
lived in
Before
the
that-
same neighborhood. We both walked to work. He
No.
just so happened to be walking the same time. Yes, this is my coworker. We're gonna walk and have a conversation.
Oh,
he
not-
turned
no,
off.
but she never tell me
Kenneth
that,
went
though.
to his house, and I kept walking
You never
home.
tell me that.
So
though.
wait, Mr. James,
You
listen,
tell that,
listen.
though.
I want to find out what happened when she told you she was pregnant. You weren't excited about the news?
I was asleep. I was working. I was
No,
tired.
he wasn't
At
worried
that
about
moment
my
ti-
pregnancy
at
because
the
he
moment
was too
time,
busy getting someone else pregnant.
I was working.
You
So
see,
wait
he's
a
trying
minute.
to
At the
deny my
time
child.
Miss Kingsbury was pregnant, you had someone else pregnant as well?
Well, yeah, you can say that.
So you wasn't sleeping too much.
I was sleeping.
No,
I still
but
was
I
sleeping.
was sleeping.
But I wasn't talking to her at that time either, though.
Yes, he was.
At the
he
point-
moved on after
Because you
Thanksgiving when he was driving down the
Because you
street in his
pregnant.
car and yelled out the window, that's why I got someone else pregnant.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
All right, so how does it get to the point where you riding down the street
Because
yelling
we
out?
arguing.
I
We-
stayed
we
at
can't
his
come to
house the night
understand it.
before.
No
and that
understanding, so we
morning when we
arguing.
got up, he was arguing with me about diabetes. I'm a diabetic.
Sure.
I got frustrated and I walked out his house and I walked down the street to
No,
my
it was
house.
more than that,
He
though.
jumped in his car
Arguing.
and proceeded to follow behind me and yelled out the window, that's why I got someone else pregnant.
That's the only way I could tell her, though.
Mr. James, now you know you're wrong. Why get in your car and yell something out like that?
If I would have told her straight up,
But you was
she would have
still
did
intimate
something to
with
me
me.
or whatever. She would have did something in my car,
We-
or she would have probably hit me.
We were still together.
There's no
Yes,
understanding. There's no
yes,
understanding. That's why I had to say it like I had to say it. I didn't want to say it like.
So you had to say it and drive off so she wouldn't do something to you.
But Your Honor, he didn't do that. He drove to the store, waited for me to walk to my house, and came to my sister's house and to proceed to tell me more and more and more and more about this young lady.
I tried to make her understand.
I
or
told
give
him
her
to leave, though. I
understand
didn't
that
want to hear it. My sister
this
told him
what
to
happened.
leave. I didn't want to
What
hear
is it to understand? You have one woman pregnant, and now you got another woman pregnant. The only thing to understand is you doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, I'm doing the
That's
wrong
it.
thing. You can say that.
Were you at the hospital? Did you participate in the birth?
Yes.
You did?
Yes, I write down he was born.
He was.
But not her C-section, but when he was there, I was holding him. I
He
seen him
was.
pee-pee.
He signed the
all
birth
that.
certificate.
I
He
seen all
he
that.
signed the birth certificate
All
and
that,
everything.
bro.
He did.
Because I thought
My
that's
son
the right
has his
thing
last
to do.
name.
Even though I had my doubts, as a person, I believe in God, whatever like that. I believe as a man,
The doubt
take
is-
responsibility.
At what point do you really have real doubt that this child is yours?
I think when he was like 2 months, the sickle cell trait.
Okay. Chance was born with the sickle cell trait.
Yes.
The sickle cell.
Now, let's talk about some evidence.
When I heard about the sickle cell trait, I did my research with that trait. I had to be a carrier, or somebody on my side had to be a carrier. I don't have it. My mother
How
don't have
do
it.
you know you don't have it?
Because the doctor never said I had the type of trait, even though
Have you ever gone in and been tested specifically?
not specifically.
Did you ask your family?
Yes, I asked my mother, she said no. Asked my dad, he said no. If she said she don't have it and nobody in her family don't have it, It got to be another
Miss
man.
Kingsbury.
Okay,
These are
so-
scientific facts.
So how do your mother or your father knows anyone else in their family could be a carrier? How do they may know that you as their
because
child
they know their
don't
own
that.
mother, they know their own father.
Well, my
That's
mother
why.
is deceased, so I don't know if she ever had the sickle cell trait.
So you
and
unsure,
my father
not
is not
me.
in my life.
All
you
right.
sound like you unsure too.
Listen. And that's exactly why I brought an expert into this courtroom today, because I don't want us to be unsure. I want us to understand
Yes, ma'am.
how a sickle cell trait is passed down, and I want us to understand how it could possibly relate to the paternity of chance. Jerome, can you please escort Dr. Wanda Whitten-Sherney? She's the CEO of the Sickle Cell Disease Association of America, Michigan chapter.
Hello, doctor. How are you? I'm great, thank you. I'm gonna have you go up to the witness stand right next to me, going up the stairs.
Hi, Dr. Sherney.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We are here today talking about the paternity of beautiful baby Chance.
Okay.
We have had testimony thus far, which led Mr. James, our potential father, to mistrust Miss Kingsbury. But what really fueled this doubt was finding out that the baby Chance had the sickle cell trait. I want to know from you, how is the sickle cell gene passed to a child from a parent?
Okay. The genes for sickle cell disease are very simple. You get a gene for hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the red stuff in the red blood cell, and that's sickle cell disease is a problem with hemoglobin. So you get a gene for hemoglobin on the sperm from the father, and you get a gene for hemoglobin from the egg on the mother, okay? So the way you get sickle cell trait is one of the parents has to have it. So that means that, yes, absolutely, one of them has to have sickle cell trait in order for the baby to have sickle cell trait.
So that means if I don't have it, if my mother don't have it, my dad don't have it. So somebody on her side of the family got to have it.
I don't have it and my daughter don't have it.
I've been doing this for 30 years, and it frequently comes up as an issue. The mother will ask the father, do you have sickle cell trait? And instead of saying, what is that? He says, no, I don't have it. And you ask his mother, oh, no, he absolutely doesn't have it. And then this whole paternity issue comes up.
So what you're saying is, and this is fascinating, because we assume as we grow up and think about our medical history and we think we know our full
Yes.
medical history.
Yes.
If we don't know for certain we have been tested for that particular specific condition,
Right.
we may get our blood drawn
And that's
10
what people,
times.
Yeah, I had my blood drawn, so if I had that, somebody would tell me. Or sometimes people think sickle cell trait is a disease, and it would make me sick. And so I've never been sick, so I couldn't possibly have it. But it's a carrier state. If you get 2 genes, you have the disease. If you only get 1 gene, you're a carrier state, and the only problem is you can pass it on to your child.
And so what you now are saying is both parents can't say for certain they do not have the sickle cell trait because they don't know if they've ever been tested.
That's right. Or one of the child's parents has sickle cell trait.
Exactly.
Now, if I am a sickle cell trait carrier,
Right.
then doesn't that mean that my daughter would have had it too?
No, you would have a 50-50 chance
It's a
because
trait.
half of your eggs carry the gene for sickle and the other half carry normal. So you could have passed on a normal egg, you know.
Okay.
But in order for you to have a baby with sickle cell disease, both of you would have to have the trait. And then there would be a 1 out of 4 chance.
Very important information. So, Mr. James, it sounds like, and look, I commend you for doing your research, for saying, listen, I want to understand more about this as it relates to the paternity of this child.
Yes, Your Honor.
But what I believe has truly been illuminated in this courtroom is that you don't know if you've ever really had the specific test.
Yeah, because I ain't never been tested.
Exactly. And so for that reason, even though you may have doubts surrounding your paternity, this particular discovery you've made does not preclude you from being Chance's biological father.
Yeah, you right.
I think with that in mind, it's time to go to the results. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Kingsbury versus James, when it comes to 11-month-old Chance James, it has been determined by this court Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. Mr. James,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are the father. That's your beautiful little boy. How do you feel? It feels good to know for sure?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize. What are you feeling in this moment, Miss Kingsbury?
I'm just thinking about everything I went through. I don't have to lie about who my child father is. It just hurt because I went through a lot the past 2 years. For real, I took a lot.
Because you're saying through the entire pregnancy, and Chance is almost 1 year old, this doubt has just truly wreaked havoc in your life.
I tried throughout the whole thing. Support and all, it's just too many lies that had me clouded.
The doubt destroyed the beauty and the miraculous moment this is.
It did.
I want you all to figure out how to work this through so we can figure out where we're going.
Okay.
And we can get there healthier and happier so this child can grow up feeling safe, secure, and whole. All right?
You're right.
We wish you all the very, very best of luck. Court is adjourned.